We believe that many teachers and staff members of the Northwood School oppose Governor Walker's budget repair bill. We fear his attacks on educators and the union that supports us will directly harm the quality of our school and the education that our children receive here. We believe taking away the union's role in support of our teachers will mean class sizes, curriculum, and school funding will be dictated by state politicians without any input from local educators. And that's been the basis of education in Wisconsin for years, is local input, local control. We believe this bill will hurt many of the families in our community. We don't want to see these families in our Northwood community suffer. Cutting funding to schools and municipality can only cause more damage to our local economies. Proposals in this bill and other proposals put forward negatively impact workers, senior citizens, and children. With this bill, the governor will be able to unilaterally cut benefits for senior care, badger care, and Medicaid without legislative input. Our hope is that the governor and our legislators will consider the long-term ramifications of these proposals and listen to our voice from different spots in the state of Wisconsin and different populations in the state of Wisconsin and do what's best for all the communities in our state.
All on national news even that, yes, this is about collective bargaining, but what may not be fully understood is collective bargaining can have, with the lack of it, repercussions on every single worker in this state, whether you are union or not. And I do have background in this to understand that without any kind of say, employers do have the upper hand. And I'm talking right down to whether you can take 15 minutes for a break in an 8-hour day. That's what it comes down to. So it's beyond the financial deductions, because I can assure you, every single one of my coworkers and every other state employee I've talked to is definitely willing to do their part financially. But what I don't understand and what I've heard is that the deductions would occur immediately to mend a situation that has taken years to happen. And I have bills, I have a budget, and if we can't do that responsibly, which we are responsible adults to be able to do that, then I question what direction all of us, all the communities are going to be heading in. Yes, we'll have less disposable income, we adjust, because we've done that in the past. I would say very safely that a good percentage of my coworkers are doing 2 positions already because there's been hiring freezes. The history has not been stated in the public media that there's already been concessions in the past 3 years without salary increases and positions not being filled. Again, it's about respect and willingness to talk. Governor has stated that there's other folks out there that feel differently, and I do respect that. But today, as I understand from the headlines, there were 40,000 people out there. And I believe those people need to be heard as well. So, in a peaceful way.
I'm not a public employee. I don't have a pension, but you know what? I'm not jealous that someone else has that. I work in the private sector. I work for a paper company. I manage land and timber. You know what? Without unions and collective bargaining in place, as was just said, my rights as a worker are minimal. Let me tell you, just to expand on this, now in the U.S., it's a Supreme Court decision that corporations are people. They have the same rights as you and I, constitutional rights, even though the corporation did not exist at the time of the writing of the Constitution. Now, how can corporations be treated as people? Corporations don't die. They're not people. They live forever. And they will continue to control the media and control the message. That's why the message is not getting out. Corporations control the media, they control the message, and of course, people only know what they hear on Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh, and from Sarah Palin. They don't know anything else because where does the other voice get heard? How does it get out? It's not there. It's not on any of the media outlets. There is no liberal media. The media is controlled by the corporations, period. And to get our message out, this is just the beginning of what we need to do. We saw Egypt. Those people aren't crazy. They finally said enough of a brutal dictator. They have no money for food, they have no water, and they're like, we're going to revolt. We want something else. They can do it. And if they can speak out, certainly we can in a free country, as long as we are free. But we all have to do it, and we can't not do it. We have to speak out in whatever way possible. This is just the beginning of a much bigger issue. Because believe it or not, watch how this goes. Corporate America wants to keep us all working and living in poverty. They want to eliminate the middle class. There'll be a very few at the top and most of us at the bottom. And if you need proof, look at the last 30 years in America. The history, middle class is down, 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 down. Lower class, poor people, increasing, and a few at the top. And they control everything. The trend is there, it's distinct, it's black and white, and there's no denying it. This is a race and a spiral to the bottom. We need to do this for our kids, our grandkids, and the future of the U.S. as a free country. So if I can speak out, I don't get the perks, and I'm not jealous. I'm happy somebody's actually having a working class, middle class living. And that's what's needed more in America. And I'm not afraid to say it. Thank you.
If they take away the $900 million that they're talking about taking away from education, a lot of that will be in grants. You know, we get lots of grants. We are aggressive in our grant writing, and so it will hurt us there. Even with sparsity aid, last year we got, what, $115,000 in sparsity aid. That is one of the things that they're talking about taking away. They're also talking about taking away SAGE, and if they take SAGE away, that will have an effect on us because we will no longer keep those low class sizes at the primary grades. And so I know right now, I know those are some of the things that we are taking a look at, would be those areas.
From a student standpoint, like, we've just been like listening to teachers and they've been saying it like from both sides, like what's just happening. They're not giving their point of view on it. But then they're talking about, like, I've talked to some teachers who are saying, okay, well, this that's getting taken out of my pay, I'm going to have to take a second job. If I take a second job, I'm not going to be able to plan activities for the class. And then, I mean, like, the students, we're not going to have, like, the great, like, coursework and projects and stuff like that anymore. And, I mean, it's really going to be affecting us. And I think that they need to think about that.
Looking at our department, and you look at supervisors and stuff too, everybody's going to feel the hurt out of this. Because if usually in collective bargaining, at least with our outfit, if the union gets something, our supervisors get the same thing. And likewise, if the union loses something, they lose it too. So they know that they're going to be on the losing end of this too. And you know, unfortunately, and we're kind of caught in a quandary being in law enforcement because we have our fellow wardens down there working security down there. And it's kind of funny when you go down there with the rally, the protest, to see your fellow warden standing there working first. You know, it's like, hey, how you doing? You know? I think the most important thing that we can do is put the pressure on. I did hear, we were actually the first ones to hear when the Democrats walked out, which I thought was pretty ingenious. I didn't think of that. You know, it kind of put a stall on this. And I saw a message, and I don't know if anybody heard this. I was talking to a couple of other guys about it. They went down to Illinois. The Illinois governor called up Governor Walker and said, your state police are not coming into Illinois. They have to stop at the state line, which I thought was kind of cool. You know? So we do have a lot of support out there from other states. Been hearing from a lot of other people, and they're all watching us. And this is the battleground. Our union, is the AFSCME union, was started in Wisconsin. And I don't think any of us want to see it end in Wisconsin either. So probably the best thing we can do is keep the pressure on. And I know in talking from what we've heard from some of our union people that if there are walkouts, and that's what he has in that budget repair bill, that if you're gone for more than 3 days, it's probable cause or just cause for termination. And I heard he will do that.